Hello, you reached Manesh Patel from the EII Capital Group. Today is April 9th, 2012 on a Monday. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the currency markets where we're going to cover all the currencies out there. Before we begin, normal disclaimer. Whoops. This is for educational use only. All charts you're going to see are from Thinkorswim, TradeStation, or FreeStockCharts.com. Also, here are my contact details here at patel@eiicapital.com. You could also access any of our free resources here at ichimokutrade.com, from YouTube to Twitter to all the free videos to our heat map to email services. Everything's all there. Okay, so we got a lot to cover, so let's begin. We're going to start going for the currencies. First thing we're going to do is go for our heat map. This is our rating system here. And what you're looking at is on a daily, weekly time frame. I'm going to zoom in a little here. It's too small to see. You know, last week when we were going for this, we were talking about there was not much going on as far as currencies were concerned. Reason why is there was a drastic pullback we needed. A lot of these fours here were not fours. They were pretty much like threes and ones and stuff like that. And what we're looking for is on both the daily and weekly, either a 2 or a 4. And we really hadn't got that at all. But notice this week right now, you see a lot of 4s are coming about now, which is good, which is pretty much, that means the markets are pulling back. And it's starting to become very, very healthy and starting to set up for the weekly time frames. The daily is not set up yet, neither are the lower time frames, but the weekly now set up. So that's starting to be a really good sign. We just gotta wait for the pullbacks to be finished, and then hopefully the smaller time frames start pushing towards the weekly again to start these major trends all over again. But we're kind of in midst of a cycle right now for trend trading. So for a lot of trend traders out there, there's not many opportunities at all. The counter trend traders, there's a lot of opportunities there right now, especially on the smaller time frames. And you know, so they're going out and just taking a couple of profits here and there. They're making money. But for the trend traders, you're pretty much sitting back waiting and patiently waiting for the opportunities to come to you. So let's just start going for some of these currency pairs. Let's go for the FX pairs over here. First, let's look at Australian Canadian. If you look at Australian Canadian, it's trending here bearish right now. However, it's at a major support. It just kind of bounced off that right now, which was right around 200. And if you look at the weekly time frame, it's really not doing anything at all. It's consolidating. It had a chance to break out here. It really didn't at all. It kind of failed and then went below. And it came to the top of the cloud right now. It's bouncing off the top of the cloud. This thing, the more it consolidates or just stays right here, the more it's basically giving momentum to the bearish world. And this thing does have the ability to start tanking, which would be a major pullback for a monthly time frame, but does have a potential of finally going to a bearish sentiment if it just sticks around this area here or consolidates for a little while, because it's basically taking all the momentum away from the bulls. Australian Switzy, some of the Switzy pairs finally are pulling back now. As you could see here, it was an upward movement here. We now came here to a major support level here, which is basically 93.06. We bounced off that guy right now, so the resistance level is going to be basically 95.71. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens at 95.71. If we break out the last line of defense to go up, it's going to be pretty much around 96.27 before it starts making this move back up to 9600. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens with this one. But right now, there's conflict among all the time frames. Australian yen, you could see all the yen pairs. You're going to see in a minute. They're all pulling back finally here. Major support on this level is going to be, a minor support is going to be 82.84. A major one's going to be around 81.70. Resistance basically is going to be around 9600. Sorry, 96 even. Australian USD, you could see that basically sentiment has turned bearish. However, this is not a good bearish trade at all. I'd be very careful, because you got a major support right around, it's probably around 200, 225 or so. That is going to be a major support area there. Major resistance level is basically going to be around 549 on this one, but I'll be very careful in trying to go bearish on Australian USD. CAD Switzy. If you look at a CAD Switzy, really not doing anything at all. A lot of the Switzy pairs kind of have pulled back, except for this one. This one is just kind of hanging around doing nothing at all. You could see that from both the daily and the weekly. Huge swings here on the daily, as you could see, but nothing really going on at all. And if you, they're not really huge swings, because if you look at the price, the pip increments between these values, there's not much at all. So it's like 50 pips between each increment here, which is not much movement. This looks like a good movement from the naked eye, but if you shrink it down, it's not much of a movement at all. So definitely wouldn't look at that one at all. CAD yen finally pulling back. 80.75 is basically key support level on this one, and hopefully it'll bounce off that and then start making this move back up, because it looks like a pullback here on the weekly, which is also a pullback on here on the daily. So it'd be interesting to see exactly how far this thing pulls back. If it pulls back too much, then it's going to be basically destroy the upward trend completely. But it looks like I think it will sit there and probably hold around 80.78. At that point, it'll be a key test to see exactly what happens to that. If it breaks that, then it could go to 79.22. If it breaks that one, then the bullish trend is pretty much over, and does have a point where it will enter consolidation or start breaking down to the other side. This is basically Switzerland yen, really not doing anything at all. Did a minor pullback now on the daily. Over here also on the weekly, it's right at the Tinkins in the red line, which is major support right now, but really not doing anything at all as far as that pair is concerned. Euro Australian, as you can see here, we're downward trending here. We're getting to a major resistance level as 29.71. This thing has to hold at 29.71 on a weekly. If it does, then it has the potential to keep on going down. If it breaks there, then it could go to 31.97, which is pretty much going to be its last line of defense to hold to go bearish. If it breaks that, then this thing's going to enter a consolidation pattern going up. If you look at the daily time frame here, nothing really going on. Sentiment's changed bullish, but really it's been in the counter trend to the weekly, so nothing really there. I'll be very careful in trying to go bullish as far as Euro Australian is concerned. Euro CAD, if you look here, it's just consolidating right now. Basically tanks and just consolidating right now. If it sit there and can break the support level here, you got one here, then you got another one here, and then you got a major one here. So there's a lot of support values to go down. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly which one is going to start to take out first. If you look here, we went down, we're consolidating, we're consolidating, we're consolidating. The more we consolidate, the more momentum it takes away from the bears, and we do have a potential to go bullish. So definitely keep an eye on that one. Euro Swifty, not even worth entertaining our time on. Nothing really there. Euro Pound, as you can see, the pound's been getting stronger against the euro for a while now. Started downward trend here. It's resuming. It's at a major support, which is at the pivot level, because that's just coming up right now, which is at 82.30. And you could see that here from over here, starting to trend again. It's going to be interesting to see if this thing does have the ability to break 82.30. It is very strong as far as the weekly momentum is concerned, and also the daily. So there is a potential of this thing sitting there tanking to a whole new level and going down lower. If it breaks this level, then of course it will come down here, retest this pivot low, and then potential of going below the spike low here, which is all the way up to here at 80.68. So this thing does have a potential, of getting all the way down to 80.68 moving forward. Euro yen, if you look at the yen pairs, all of them will pull back. As you can see, majority of them pull back to the cloud, some haven't, but these are pullbacks. We've still got to see how far these pullbacks occur to. If they've pulled back too much on all the yen pairs, then it's going to destroy the trend, and they're going to enter consolidation patterns. But if they pulse back to a healthy value, then it does have potential to keep on going higher. Euro USD, nothing really going on. As you can see, it's consolidating here on this side. It's got to really break below 3,000 in order for us to even start looking at bearish opportunities on this one. But definitely keep an eye. It's more bearish than bullish right now moving forward. Pound USD, Pound Australian. You could see the huge upward movement here. This is just consolidating. Had a chance to break down here. It really didn't follow through at all on last month on last month on the 5th, and really didn't break down at all. Started making a move back up, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But this one's basically entered a consolidation pattern on a weekly, which is pretty much showing you a little upward movement here because we're getting to the top of the range, but that doesn't mean it's going to sit there and hold steady. It's going to pretty much looks like it's going to sit there and consolidate for a while. Pound CAD, Really nothing going on, consolidating on both the daily and weekly, so nothing really to talk about there. Pound Switzy, nothing really to talk about here, just consolidating as far as the weekly is concerned, but there's nothing really to talk about there at all. Pound Yen, if you look at the pound yen, we're pulling back right now. Major level is going to be right around this level right here, which is at 128.42. That's a potential of a balance point right there. If it could hold there, then it starts making a move to break 134. Then we've got a trend possibly. If it doesn't hold there, then it has a potential of going 125.38, which is pretty much its last line of defense moving forward. Pound USD, nothing really going on at all. Major consolidating. Bottom of the range for right now, the lowest part range is around 58.32. Top of the resistance is basically 59.33 moving forward. New Zealand CAD. Nothing really going on as far as daily is concerned. Nothing going on as far as weekly is concerned. Had a chance to break out here. It really didn't. Came down here to the green line. Major support level right now. And it's holding there. It's going to be interesting to see, how far this thing's going to go. But it's got a major support level at 80.54 and resistance level at basically 8,300. New Zealand Switzy. Nothing really going on, just consolidating both time frames there. New Zealand Yen. This basically looks like a double top here, but not confirmed at all. It's at a minor support level here. If it could break 6,600, then this thing does have a potential coming down to 6,300. 63 all the way down to 63. At that point, this will confirm a double top, but not until it gets down to 63 at least and breaks that. If it breaks that, then it does have a potential of forming a double top moving forward. Okay. New Zealand USD, nothing really going on at all. The sentiment is more towards the bullish side, so I definitely look for that. But it's got to break above 82.64 in order for us to even start looking at opportunities to go long on this thing. If it consolidates for too long, the thing can sit there and change sentiments, or it can go all the way back down to 79.20. Okay. US CAD, nothing really going on, just consolidating on both the daily and weekly. US Switzy, nothing really going on, just going sideways completely. And then US Yen, which a lot of people are looking to hear about, just going sideways. Really nothing going on at all. It's going to kind of get let down to about 80, 50 is a good pullback level for it to hold its ground. If it breaks 82.50, the last line of defense is going to be basically 79.78, 79.80. If it breaks that, then this thing is going to be pretty much entering consolidation pattern, and we'll have a potential going lower. But all the yen pairs are pretty much, I think, are still good as far as bullish trends are concerned. It's finally entered a major pullback, which we've been waiting for a couple of weeks now, which finally is starting to do. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ping us. We could go from there. That's it. Thanks.